Put on the beat and let BD get you relaxing. Broken transient and deaf F bringing the facts in. Feel the foam of the flow, I'm flipping and flexing. Let's take away the thoughts of your troubles, the times are taxing. Sudden serenity, soon as I sit in section. Spilling and spilling, spinning a verb for your reaction. It's nothing new, it's the normal nerd in me action. Serving sound in sonnets for solace and satisfaction. I'm entertaining by telling the truth for traction. Never knew veracity for any kind of faction. Or their attention, fashion, no attraction. A piece, prime pieces, my people need protection. Too many weak rhymes, lies, the imperfection. Done deliberately for devastating distraction. Murder, money, molly, more of the misdirection. Assault, sight, sing, Satan stroking his...
I'll do a lot of thinking.
Welcome to the pod.
Welcome back, guys. Today we've got one of the coolest cats in Cape Town, Mr. Mzu. I don't really know if you have a surname, to be honest with you.
I do. I'm also a child.
Situation, or?
I'm also a child of a couple. Ntantiso is the surname.
Ntantiso.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Do you know the full name, brother?
Mzukisi
Yes, that's the full
Ntantiso.
name. Yes, Lord. Yes.
Very cool.
Thank
Very cool. Hey.
Yeah, people need to know this.
Yes, Lord.
I was under the impression in the way I've met you, you've got this very share celebrity personality, so that's why I kind of just assumed that it was a one name, one title. Yes, sir.
No, also, the Mzu came along the same way it always comes along. People don't know how to pronounce the name. I think my name is easy to pronounce, Mzukisi, but then apparently it's not. Some people call Mzukisi, Mzukuzukuzei. I was like, you know what? Let's just go Mzu.
Yeah.
Then I'm okay. I'm like, let's just go Mzu. At least that's part of my name.
Yeah, it's not butchering your name.
Yeah, you MG for a reason, I'm sure.
Yeah, no.
Mungazazezi. That's harder than my name.
Mzukisi.
Jesus.
Mungezi.
Gosh, dang.
So, yeah, I know.
So that's how Mzu came about. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I butchered it.
No butchering. It's just it's an interesting situation of how the hell that came about. I'm like, yeah, Mzu. Also because I'm an actor. You do want a name they can pronounce, otherwise you don't win awards. Did you guys know that?
No.
As soon as you have a difficult name, like in the award.
You start turning into
I don't know who the hell is this guy? Call him by his name. I mean, the amounts of names that aren't people's names. If you think about Hollywood, I'm like, Jamie Foxx's name is not Jamie at all.
Yeah.
It's a completely different name.
Yeah.
I don't want to be wrong, but I think it's Eric Bishop or something like that.
Yeah.
But that's not hard to pronounce.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just don't sound movie, yes. The award goes to Eric Bishop. And this award goes to Jamie Foxx.
I get it.
You have to create that.
There's more vuma to it.
There's something movie-esque about it. I don't know, man. More entertainment vibes.
So, for those of you that don't know, Mzu is one of the most renowned rappers in Cape Town. He also owns a wine brand, sneaker brand, and cohesive wine and sneaker brand. I think there is still a longer list, but those are all that I'm aware of, to be honest with you. Do you want to take?
Well, it's an embellishment. I don't own a sneaker brand. I'm part of a collective that owns a wine brand called Even Me. I have a page on Instagram called Sneakers and Wine Pairing, but I myself do not actually own a sneaker brand.
Yes. Okay.
I like what you did there, the foreshadow. I like what you did there. I'm an actor by what I studied and went to school for, and I'm a musician by my practices and passion and love. And I love all these things that I do. Yeah.
That is very cool. That's coolest cat in Cape Town.
No, I'll take it.
Also, secretly a foodie.
I love food,
damn.
man. I enjoy me some food. I don't know. The word foodie in itself is a weird thing. You know, human beings are strange.
I know.
I'm like, do we have a breathing? Like, no, I like to breathe good air. I am now the professional. It's food. What the hell is me? You know what I mean? But I know what you mean. I love food, bro.
Yeah.
I do. I enjoy.
You express your love of enjoyment.
I do. I'm a bit of a nerd. I guess that's what it is. It's like, as a creator, I like other people's creations. That's really what it is. From everything, clothing, rings, wine, food, all of that. So it's always nice to admire what other people are able to create, especially with things that are normal. And I call them normal, meaning like all human beings get dressed.
Or they
All human
oversee
beings
it.
eat food.
Yeah.
All human beings can drink whatever. But when people invest themselves into making that an experience, I find that to be.
Interesting and intriguing.
And also the blessing of being a human being. You know, no one seasons lions' food. They just eat what they get. As nature intended, human beings are like, nah, I'm gonna mess around here. I like that. I'm like, yeah, you see that? That's that part. Mess around
That's
with
what
the
makes
natural
us
thing.
different.
100%.
Yeah.
Not better, but different. Not better, but different. So yeah.
So, give us a little tidbit about growing up. I don't think a lot of people
Would know about all of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm from the Eastern Cape. I'm Tata specifically.
Hometown. It's
You from the Eastern Cape?
Kabeja, yeah.
Oh, from Kabisi. Come on, Kabeja. Well, I've got some relationship with Kabeja. So, from the Eastern Cape, I'm Tata specifically. I studied there in primary school, moved over to Takastad, still in primary school. Then my high schooling was in Stutterheim. So, all these small boarding schools. My mother was a traveling human being and she did not want to leave the boys alone at home. So, boarding school was out there. Yeah. And after matric, I did University of Port Elizabeth at the time. It was still University of Kabeja. So before it was Kabeja, before it was NMMU even. So University of Port Elizabeth, I studied something I thought I liked, but I guess I didn't know much about. But it led me into what I actually want to study. So I did 2 years. I didn't finish my degree then, and I came to Cape Town to study film, which is actually what I wanted to do. And in Cape Town, I was at AFDA, and I got here in 2005. And I've been here since.
Dope.
So that's my professional journey, if you will.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe ask what this thing was that you weren't.
Yeah, media, culture, and communications. So it was meant to lead me towards what I like, but of course, when you read a prospectus, you get what you get.
Yeah.
And it sounded like media and something I wanted to get,
You get the cover, you don't get the in-depth of it.
Yeah, but it sounded like the thing I wanted to be into, because I also didn't know what to call what I want to get into, but it sounded like it's in the media space and whatever. So studying it, first year, very generic, you don't know what you're really studying. Second year, you have to start choosing subjects that you want to major in your third year. Then I'm like, oh, hell no.
I don't want any of
I don't
these.
want to be a researcher. I don't want to do journalism. What's going on? I don't want to be a historian. I don't want. What are we doing here, bro? I thought you guys said media. What do you mean? So, but going through that led me to what I do because I guess I had a passion for acting, film acting specifically, but I didn't think it was something you can study. I thought it was just something you fall into. You somehow in media, you're cool enough as a human being, sure, you fall into it.
Meet a director at a party, you get cast on.
Yeah. So I'd done plays and everything at school, so I knew that it's the kind of thing I love, but it's the kind of thing you just fall into.
You didn't
hang around
you
the
didn't
right
see
circle.
the entry point.
I didn't see the entry point because we don't know. No one ever tells us these things. And so then I found out, and in that time of studying what I didn't want to study, I ended up having to think about what I really want to do and then do a bit of research, and then with that, things happen. So that's how I ended up at AFDA, Cape Town. Yeah.
And how was the experience at AFDA compared to the UPE experience?
I mean, as places, they're completely different, of course. PE being PE, very small, and became very small for me very quickly. But it's also got its merits, right? E.g., probably the best situation of a campus, as far as I'm concerned. You are in, it's the most perfect space to be in. Down the road is the beach. All you have to do is literally just walk down and you're by the beach.
You don't feel like the beach 5 more minutes and you're at the bar?
No. Exactly. So in terms of and in a safe area, you know what I mean? Universities are in sketchy places sometimes, but in this case, it's
not
so
much
perfectly
anymore.
situated. Which one?
Not so much anymore.
In general, universities.
It's the summer strand's gone really.
Oh well.
Really, really sideways.
I mean, that's the Kabeja pub.
You never know what you're gonna get.
No, but yeah. So it had its merits in that case. It's a beautiful city. Different from Cape Town, obviously. I feel like there's a lot more in Cape Town, and I was more destined to a place like Johannesburg or Cape Town, So those are the big differences. And yeah, so I guess then that also affects networking, who's around, international influence, people that you can meet, and therefore opportunities. So yeah.
It's a lot more internationally recognized in Cape Town.
100%.
I feel like That hits home a little bit.
Yeah.
That hits home a little bit. Thank goodness.
Yes.
Did you find that your mentality in terms of what you were studying at the different places actually made a difference in the experience you had at them?
Well, yes, because one, I didn't know what I was studying, and I thought it was going to lead me to what I want. And then by the time I did the other thing, I was grown because I had an experience that led me towards what I actually want to do. And also, I just find that film school is not really for children. You need to be a little bit grown to do it. You have to take as much as you can because you don't really particularly get as much as you need, if that makes sense.
Okay.
It's an adult's place. You might leave there as a very empty vessel without really, because people don't just hand you. It's an art school.
It's
a
not
place
the place.
of passion.
It's not the place to go to fuck around and find out.
Yeah, you will find out. You know what I mean? You will find out, but I don't think you're gonna find out what you want to find out. You know, and so it's like being dropped in an area with all the tools of the thing you say you want, and no one's gonna spend time showing you every single tool, but they're gonna show you that there's a room with all the tools, and it's up to you to go and grab all the tools because you're in the space. And again, because it's an art school, you supposed to come from within. Go and take, grab as much as you can, and you know. So yeah, it was good in that sense, and it was also going through its own teething stages because AFDA continues to grow. It's a completely different school from when I went there, and a completely different school from the people before when I went there. You know, the ethos and the principle and the ideas are the same and brilliant and good, and we love them. But I feel like the experience gets better and better and better and better because they're getting better and better and better. But I enjoyed my time, and like I say, I think because I was grown and I didn't come straight from high school, I got there and I took everything there was to take, and I'm very happy I did. Yeah.
And look how far it's taken you as well. I mean,
Hey, dog. Hey.
how many albums now?
No albums yet, funny enough. Not even one album yet. And also, the music actually has got nothing to do with AFDA, right? Because AFDA was more about the film and the acting side of things. Which is great, but at the end of the day, I always say, in acting particularly, school is for the individual. It's got nothing to do with getting a job. In that, no one ever comes into a room and says, so what have you done? Yeah, you qualified, walk in. They say, stand there, action. What you've done needs to show. It's not what you have on your page. You can have all the things you want on your page, but if you suck, Maji. You know? So
I've never really been into a casting or even tried to do it. Do they look at any sort of reference CVs beforehand, or is it just like a personality showcase?
They do look, because you kind of get an idea of whether you're wasting your time or not with somebody who's completely new, really doesn't know anything, and somebody who's got some experience. So you're kind of looking for different things. I feel like if you're going with someone who has nothing on their CV, you literally don't know what you're going to get. If you're going with someone who has something, you're interested to see what else they can offer.
Okay.
It's that kind of thing.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Although, like I say, the CV itself does not get you a job. It probably gets you enthusiasm from the casting director, because they're like, oh, now I really want to see what's going to happen here because there's experience. Or even better, if they've seen you in something, they're like, oh, now I want to see. But that also doesn't guarantee. You might not be good for this role just because you were good for that one. And not getting a job doesn't actually mean you suck. It just means you're not right for this one. But I feel like that also has its own categories and how you decide that. So, yeah.
It sounds like there was a lot of personal development that came from
Trust
all
me,
of this.
you have to, my brother. The amount of rejection is ridiculous. There's more no's than yeses, and that'll be for the rest of your life. There's more no's than you'll get yeses.
It doesn't just apply in sales, guys. It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
And hopefully the yeses that come are the ones that matter, you know? Because you stop counting the no's, then you're like, I don't even remember who said no anymore.
Do you not find it's how you utilize the yeses that do come your way?
Yes, indeed. I mean, also, as an artist, I feel like, first of all, you're lucky to be doing a thing you actually love, and you're not doing a thing you have to do just for the sake of survival. Yes, there are things in what you do that are just for the sake of
getting by and making.
Yeah, getting by and making, but still, you are still within the thing that you love.
Yeah.
And so you do make the most of the opportunities you get, because those can change into the thing you love or lead you towards that thing. And a lot of it is also relationships. Right? Who did you meet? How did you work? What is the reputation about your work? How are you as a human? Are you easy to work with? All these things are part and parcel of the industry as well.
And total package that comes from
And they
it,
are,
yeah.
eventually. Most importantly, are you good though? But I feel like having the other things helps. They might want to give you a chance, like, yeah, it's not there yet, but we can get it. We want to get this person there.
Push him a little.
Yeah, just
That's
push
all.
this human a
Yeah.
little bit. They'll get there. And he's a nice person. Let's work with this person. I say he because I'm talking about myself, but any human being. So, yes.
And your love of wine, how did that come to be?
So yeah, wine is an interesting one. I mean, I knew nothing about wine from the Eastern Cape where I come from. I literally had no connection to wine whatsoever. It was a thing they drank in the movies, and just something they drink in restaurants, which really had nothing to do with my life at all, you know. But of course, coming to the Western Cape, there's a lot of it around. I also feel that what happens is, amongst students, it becomes the cheaper thing to share.
Yeah.
You know, you can get a bottle for 60 Rand, and a bottle for non-drinkers or new drinkers can go a very long way.
It would be a lot more enjoyable than a bottle of sherry.
100%. Yeah, that's a bit too strong, but also the wine will do its job. You'll all get tipsy and drunk very quickly within 3 bottles. And it costs you guys 20 Rand each to get a bottle. And so
Yeah.
you start like that, right? And then it becomes easily accessible because of that. The price of it is easily accessible. Then it's something that you can drink. A lot of people drink it more than I realized. As opposed to, I'm allergic to beer. Oh, I don't drink whiskey; it's too strong. I don't drink vodka because gin makes me emotional. Wine is usually met with I don't know wine more than anything. More, I don't like wine. I don't think I've met anyone who's like I don't like wine. I just met wine. I don't know about it.
Yeah.
So then we can drink that because you don't know about it. Let's try it and let's figure it out. And so I started like everybody else, drinking the normal nonsenses. Not to shame anybody, so I'm not going to say any words. But by that, I just mean there are these sweet wines that get us into wine drinking.
Yeah.
But then there comes a point where I feel you drink a wine, and all of a sudden you are in wine land, where you're like, I think I'm getting a hang of this wine thing. And I can say that name because I always, for everyone who drinks wine, I'm like, once you can drink that, I think you're ready. You've prepped enough. So that's basically Pinotage for me. Right. Move from Saint what? You know,
I feel like this is an Eastern Cape thing because I was also the one that I used to train onto my wine battle.
but it's not even because even when you hear, you know what I mean? It's like all of a sudden I'm like, it sits under wine. Unlike the other things that you were drinking that you're like, I don't know what the hell that thing is. It had so many colors. It was so sweet. It gave me a headache and whatever.
Unbelievable.
Right? So, base club Pinotage, man. Once you get there, I feel like you're now primed enough for someone who actually drinks wine to now show you other things. You're starting to understand it. You're no longer looking for the sweet, cheap, easy thing to drink. This drink and just you're starting to go, oh, there's something here. Oh, I can taste something smoky. You can start using weird language that didn't make sense. This thing tastes like this. It makes my mouth dry. Okay, tannin. You know, there's words now. You start learning the jargon, you know, and all these things. So it started just like that, like everybody else's journey, as far as I'm concerned. But the turning point is a friend of mine lived in Woodstock. I think it was Church Square, and he had a friend who lived in the apartment below him. Her boyfriend was a Som, but then he left because he had a job in Dubai. And basically they had met and he was like, please take care of my lady while away because she's told me that she's friends with you, whatever. So in that, I met her. And then when he came back to visit, he was like, yo, man, you guys were so cool to my lady. I got to take you guys out and treat you. And then he took us to Cape Grace Hotel because that's where he used to work. That was the day I mark as my wine drinking day where I was like, okay, so now I drink wine. And a lot of interesting things changed. And I even have like, oh, it's my favorite winemaker from that day. So we got there, and obviously the other guys were working there knew him. Hey, welcome back, good to see you. And he was like, do we still have some of our stash? And I assume that means from his time, the things that they had kept doing, they're like, yeah, actually we do. So they brought up some stuff. So KWV Pinotage 1988, if I'm correct. A Bushvine Shannon from Muiplas. Testa Longa El Bandito. It had a bull on it. And there's something else that I always forget because there were 4 wines. But in that, I was just like, oh, so this is wine.
This is what.
Okay.
This is the
and
next
then I
level.
just never looked back. And in that, all of these wines were amazing and great. But also, I guess I got to taste an idea of natural wine making, if you will. Testalonga. I was so fascinated by that wine that I eventually met the winemaker, and I can shout out Craig Hawkins, man. You know, I was so fascinated by it. I loved the label. It was so crazy. It had a bull on it. It was nothing like the normal gold crest. Afrikaans name, just Testalonga. What is a Testalonga even? What is a bandito? You know what I mean? El bandito. What is going on? Are we in a western? You know what is this? You know, wine that tasted like olive tapenade. I'm like, what is going? Like, what? How do grapes taste like this? You know, I loved it so much, and I was fascinated. And from there, I got very curious, and then that was the beginning of the journey. And I told him a couple of years later, which I think was last year. I asked him, what was that wine that you used to have in this thing? And he was like, oh, that is now called the dark side. And I love the dark side. And I was like, oh, that's probably why I love the dark side. It's exactly the first wine that I fell in love with in terms of what he does. So yeah, that would be the beginning of the journey. That year, I don't know, 2015, I don't know, maybe earlier, I'm not sure the years anymore. They stopped mattering after a while. Yes, what matters is I'm here now. So that's really that's all I remember and how it started. But the year,
I think it was more fascinated. I wasn't really fascinated about what
about the times and
it's more about the story.
What happened
and the
and-
emotion.
yeah.
What actually.
no, that was the
hook,
beginning. And
the
then
hook was
I just never looked back. Just kept being curious, and again, curious in the right place. I'm in the Western Cape. What are you talking about? And
Curious.
asking questions, meeting people, and soon enough, I made all the friends. Because I feel like the wine people love a curious mind. The more curious you are, they're like, yeah, try this. Try. Oh my God, try this. And shout out to Penny, because Penny was one of the first people who was really like, oh, and now you like wine. You don't know about wine, but you're curious. Taste. So shout out to Penny anyway. Yeah.
and the curiosity led you to.
Well, so yeah, that is very far.
Yeah.
From how it all started. So basically, after a while of drinking, by the way, funny enough, sneakers and wine started on that day when I drank wine for the first time. Yeah. For some strange reason, I just put up my sneaker and I put a glass in that, and I was like, this is so cool. Things I like. I guess it was just that simple. And the second one I shot was in a club. Some lady that I knew was wearing some cool sneakers. I had a glass of wine. I put it next to her and I took it. It was just a joke. As far as I was, man, sneakers and wine. It is different. I've never heard of anything like that. I like it. Pairing things that don't, whatever. I didn't even think I was going to make a thing out of it. It was just something I used to do whenever I thought about it. Anyway, so life carried on, and we've now got sneakers and wine. Sneakers and wine brought about the interest in having a brand. Because I guess somebody just say, why don't you have your own wine? I was like, what do you even mean? What does that even mean? What do you mean have my own wine? I don't make wine. But what does that mean? You know? So I guess then I started getting education about the fact that you don't have to be a winemaker to own a wine brand, you know. But of course, also there was a bit of a weird thing about that scenario, because people use strange words and they say things. They'll say, Mzu, you're a winemaker. I'm like, I'm not a winemaker. You need to get that. I am not a winemaker. Put some respect on winemakers. You know? I own a wine brand. You don't have to hide and pretend you do something you don't do. This winemaker made but then you think of it as on an individual level, but that's the case even with the wine farms you like.
Yeah.
The wine farm owner is not necessarily the winemaker.
Yep.
There was a winemaker who works for the farm. So it's not a unique thing. This is how it works. This is how the situation works.
It's not weird.
And so just curiosity, learning the sneakers and wine, playing around, taking sneakers and wine a bit more seriously, because most importantly, it helped me remember the wines I like. Mm-hmm. And also I loved sneakers, and I thought this is a fun way to do things. And also people kept asking me, so what wine should I drink and what wine? I'm like, you know what? I've got a page that's got wine. Just go look at the wine you like there. Find the sneakers you like, and the wine that's on there is a start. You might not like that wine, but I'm pretty sure it's already better than the other stuff that you drink. So it's a learning journey for both of us, you know. And so things grew, and then eventually I was like, why not have our own label? And I used to have these conversations with Raphael, And then one day we had a conversation with Raphael and Koen of Spionkop. He was around and he was just like, but I have one. I said, the what? And that was the birth of our first wine brand called Tremors. So it was a Mark guy who used to own the Charles restaurant, the Raphael and me. Tremors was the name of our first wine. And then things changed. Mark was moving on with his journey. So we just thought, let's just rebrand again and start something new. And then we started Even Me. And that included Rory Jossel, now who's of Shoreditch, and the U Hotel at the Onyx. U Restaurant at the Onyx Hotel.
Is this the same ref that I'm thinking of?
Raphael of Open Wine.
Yeah.
Raphael of Open Wine. Raphael Paternetti.
Very cool.
Yes, no, that's my friend, man. So yeah, he was around, and again, he's also plays a big part in my wine journey. And Sneakers and Wine fascinated. The reason we're friends is because of Sneakers and Wine. I went to him and I was like, I do this thing, and because Raphael likes crazy people, he was like, I don't know what you mean. I don't know what the hell this means, but I love you for it. And he had a wine that he had done in collaboration with somebody else called. Okay, I'll remember the name now. Yeah. But it was a Muscat. How can I forget the name? Anyway, it had, so I did a pairing with him, with him about that, and we became closer and closer and closer. So yeah.
I think it's very cool that the natural progression of you just showcasing the things you love turned into this wonderful thing that you can still showcase and share with people.
Yeah, and we have fun. Like it's fun at the end of the day. And I think the industry, of course, it was very weird when you start talking to winemakers and like these serious farm people who are like, what? Who are hardworking. Like, what are you on about? This is nonsense about sneakers and whatever. And it's fine, but I think over time they realize, this is actually a wine drink. I see you all the time everywhere. So now it's quite interesting to see what, these two things, how did they make sense? 100%. I mean, and I get it. What's there to understand in the first place, right? And I guess who understood food and wine before it became what it needed to be? Eventually you make sense. You're like, we consume them, so therefore they go together. You didn't think so. The first time somebody said there's a steak, you're like, how the hell do you pair steak with this liquid? What do you mean? Until somebody did it.
It's a natural progression.
And so here we are, sneakers and wine. And it's fun. And that's really what it is. Two things that I like, and a page where people can go and reference for things they want to know about. It's entertaining. It looks beautiful. And now it's a wine page. I just want to grow for all things wine. Any wine event that happens, tag Sneakers and Wine, I'm happy to always advertise. That's the whole point of the page. Yeah. It's about wine growth and wine activity and wine for everybody. So, yeah.
It's a very interesting story, because I kind of made me misconception that Even Me came first and then Sneakers and
Even
Wine.
Me is very late in the game, but yes. But natural progression.
That's a natural progression.
Yeah.
It's very fun.
Yes, sir.
Did this love of art that you have for people's art also kind of showcase and find a way into this natural progression with the winemakers and helping you relate and understand their craft and art?
100%. So I've always been fascinated about people's creations. That's really what gets me going in the world, and people love mountains, people love the beach, people love all kinds of things that make them
wonderful things.
Of course, that make them travel. I love what human beings can create. I think we are at our best when we create, not when we are ruling and running policies. We are terrible. But when we create, we are at our best. We are so awesome. The things that we come up with, I'm like, yo, this is crazy. So that's always been a big thing for me in any case. And so if I actually like the product, then it's so much more easy for me to be turned into a geek of it, because I'm like, how do you think this way? How do you turn grapes into something that tastes like Turkish delight?
Let me understand your brain.
When did you ever taste a peach that tastes like grapes? So why do grapes taste like strawberries and orange and cinnamon and who put the cinnamon in the bottle?
Yeah.
Who put the cinnamon in the bottle? Who put blueberries in the bottle? What are we talking about? It's just grapes, So it's fascinating. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. And you have to study. You have to understand cultivars. You have to understand soil. Viticulturist. You have to really. You have a farmer. That's what you are, really, right? Or if the winemaker is not the person doing it, they work with the person who understands that, and then they have to understand what that person is doing in order to be able to work with the grapes and create amazing things. So it's just such a fascinating geek world, And yeah, so I just got interested and got glued to it. So yes, the answer to your question is yes. It is because I am a geek for geeks. I enjoy geeks geeking out. So I'm like, yeah, this is cool.
I think that's pretty exceptional. You don't do it in a very pretentious way that some people come across when they do the whole sommelier thing. And
no, I mean, and again, with that, by the way, it's an interesting thing because I'm like, I also remember that in the game when people used to say, the wine people are very pretentious and whatever. I heard it, right? And I was like, I mean, I understand why. But the closer I got to the wine people, I realized, do you know what it is? No one ever calls computer geeks
pretentious.
All these names, pretentious, whatever, Yeah. And I'm like, they don't know how else to speak about the thing they do. They just speak the thing. They so geeky about it.
It's their language.
They almost forget.
That's their love language. Yeah.
You're like, they don't even understand why you don't get it. Like, how can you not? You know what I mean? And that's what I kind of think I learned about most wine people.
Because there are some of the outliers.
There are outliers who are full of nonsense. Again, of course, once, like anything in the world, once now wine is associated with food and the most prestigious restaurant and then culture. Our favorite word, by the way, is like culture. It's so cultured and whatever. Then it's the same as art and all these things. And I'm like, this is completely unnecessary. But the other people, which the majority, as far as I'm concerned, is just geeks. And when they get together about this geeky thing, they just geek out. And now you left out going, I don't know what the hell. And naturally it becomes intimidating and you feel like you don't know and blah, 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 blah. And so it goes.
That's the thing. I feel like other people feel so left out because they're not willing to understand this new language and love language that everybody's sharing, that they kind of miss the whole point behind it, right? And that's them trying to share something with you and each other.
So passionate. They're really so passionate. It's like, but like I say, I always challenge everyone. I've never met a wine-loving person who didn't love a curious mind. But I also think they don't know how to cultivate that out of you or like pull it out of you. You either love it and you're curious, and if you are, I've never met anyone go, oh, just shut up, stop asking me questions about this. You're so annoying. Do you know what I mean? They always like, oh my God, this is a 1992, and this is whatever you're so Bordeaux, right? This is, I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Can you just pour some wine? Number one, because I don't know what you're on about, But I've found that that's really what it is, instead of the opposite, where we think, trying to be fancy, whatever, and of course, it's got its own problems. Language is language. Gooseberries. It smells like a person from the Eastern Cape. So what the hell are you talking about? What is a gooseberry? And so naturally you get intimidated and you don't want to speak. And I'm like, go with the gooseberry. And maybe to you it tastes like amasi and something else. You're not wrong. And half the time if you mention it, you realize they also start thinking, I never thought about that. You're right. Actually, it does taste a bit like amasi and whatever, I mean, the things I've heard. Like it tastes like tomato leaf. I'm like, who know?
Who eats tomato leaf?
It doesn't taste like tomato. It does. Like, where on earth did you smell that? Why did you smell that? You know what I mean? And these things do sound pretentious, but investigate them. Because maybe what smells like tomato leaf for you smells like something else, and you're not wrong. Yeah. You're not wrong. It's just, it's so similar, but everyone uses their own frame of reference. But again, because the frame of reference will come from, I'm the one who's all knowing.
All about perspective.
It really is. It's an individual experience. It cannot have, a one hegemonic way of experience. It's like, this is my experience. And yes, sometimes we are wrong. You say, oh, this is caramelly, and someone says fudge, and you're like, actually, you're more accurate. It's more fudge than it is there. Do you know what I mean?
But if
and you're not wrong.
If you never mention that caramel, you want to make that connection with
100%.
Right?
So you're not wrong. You just get more accurate if you will, at that sense.
I feel like some people have this with fine dining as well.
No, 100%. I can imagine. Anything that has prestige and cultured, then it's over. I'm like, oh, here we go. They're gonna mess up a good thing.
Unattainable and unreachable. Let me not even try and understand it.
At the end of the day, it's just food. This is what we do to live, It's so awesome that we can have fun with it, so let's continue having fun with it.
I think fine dining the line gets very skewed.
Yeah.
So I think the menu being top of my mind, it becomes cultish.
Yeah. Look,
not the brand.
I know the movie you're talking about.
It's the downside of passion.
Yeah.
You get too passionate. And when you are surrounded by other passionate people and you create competitions and awards out of it, it only helps to,
Turn it
bring
into
the
a
other side
negative
into a
space,
problem. But otherwise, at the bottom of it all, what you're looking at is just a passionate person. That's really all you're looking at. Someone who's so angry you didn't get the taste. It's like they're not angry because they're actually angry. They're so passionate about that taste. The 2 grains of salt. 2 grains. It's just 2 grains, bro.
Yeah,
So
I guess.
it's just a geek. It's just a geek. Keep saying the problem is we think geeks are big who can't get up from a couch, who are dirty and wear glasses. There are many geeks in the world all kinds of.
That would be a
geekiness.
nerd, not a geek.
Which is a nerd. At the same time, and I'm going, how many nerds? And I've often said wine people are nerds, which I think chefs are nerds. That's most people who are in anything that's got to do with passion and some level of art, which involves creation, individual expression. They're nerds.
Okay, this brings me to a question, and might be a little bit left field.
Go ahead.
Do you think that this understanding helped you understand your cool?
It made me understand I'm different. Let's put it like that.
100%.
Not that I'm cool or not cool. I can understand someone who finds it cool, right? But again, it's because I also admire things, and when I admire a person who has this passion and this dedication to this thing, I'm like, oh my God, that is so cool. To find a thing you love, live for, be driven by, wake up for it, die on the hill for it. You're like, I'm dead, I can't do it, it's failed, therefore my life is over. You're so cool, right? And that's just finding passionate people. And if anything, I just hope it inspires, because all of us have passion. So it should inspire other people to get passionate about their things, whatever they are.
Everybody's got multifacets.
Everybody,
There's parts of you
dude.
that are cool. There's parts of you that are nerdy. There's parts of you that are
100%.
geeky. It's all about finding that relativity in
100%.
another human being.
That's
and
just what it is.
What is cool for them? What is nerdy for them?
What is nerdy? What is interesting? And so, And I think the thing about arts in general are usually involved in things that are obvious to our livelihood. It's food, it's drinks, it's
Paintings,
paint, it's visual,
hearing, sound.
it's performance, it's music. There are other nerds who are academics who do all the things we need. We wouldn't be okay without these doctors. We wouldn't be okay without the researchers of these
They
diseases.
love the song as much as you love the song.
100%.
Yeah.
They love getting deep into the, oh my gosh, the structure, the DNA. Oh, this is what makes a cell, and this is, you know what I mean? These are all geeks in the world. It's not necessarily cool. It involves dissecting a body. There's nothing cool about looking at dead bodies or whatever, in that sense of pleasing aesthetically. And I feel like all the aesthetically pleasing things get the shine and the other ones don't. But hopefully they get the respect, because I think we do to some extent respect the academics.
There's a place in
especially where we
society
know.
for them, 100%, yeah.
So anyway, they deserve more, but whatever. It is what it is.
That is very true.
It is.
Think about it. During COVID, the doctor, the American dude, he was
Fauci.
Yeah, he was like, you're a rock star.
Yeah, I think it's also difficult when you get rock stars within the things that are really important. You start worrying. You know?
Yeah, because you're like, wait, you guys.
What are you doing this for? I don't want you to do my medicine for clout. I'd like you to do my medicine for my medicine. You know, don't do it for clout. This is
Coming up recently.
you know what I mean? So it's just like, calm down, mister, you know. But it's in the same way that we don't praise the farmer, you know, with the chef. And I'm just like, a chef working with crap ingredients, there's a limitation to what you can do. But when you get that produce from that farmer, but then also to praise a farmer who's like, I am the guy who's got the most red pepper. I'm like, I don't trust you no more. It sounds to me like you might inject red into the red pepper, which is no longer cool. And I think that's the reason certain things are cooler than others and get more attention than others.
Because it's
Because it's just like, whoa, mister. My sweet potato sweet. I'm like, what is he putting in this sweet potato, bro? Like, I don't know about all of that. So, yeah. But anyway, at the end of the day, all it reinforces that we all need each other. And if we knew that, the better we would all be. And also, most farmers don't want the attention anyway. So, it doesn't matter. It's just, if they get the respect they deserve, they get the conditions that they need, all their, problems are met, I Academics the same. Teacher must teach. They don't want to be famous, but they want to be in a perfect, situation to be able to do what they want to do. Then we live in a good world. Not everyone's meant to entertain. Let's put it like that. Some of us are in entertaining arts. I'm in entertainment arts. Other people are in arts, not entertaining. I think that's just what it is. Yes.
Find your yum and don't yak someone's yum.
100%. If you got a brain, anyway. And a lot of us don't. I don't know what's going on. We're just moving mannequins. I don't know. A lot of us. But anyway.
Any cool projects you're working on? Something that people can look forward to in the future?
I mean, they don't have names, but there's always something new coming, particularly with the music. And with all the things that I do, music is probably the most independent of them all, because I don't need anything besides a pen and a pad to really be able to create that. Whereas the acting, I need to be cast by somebody. The sneakers and wine, I need to buy sneakers. I need to meet a wine person. I need to buy a wine. I need to meet somebody who's interested in collaborating. They always have somebody else they depend on. Whereas at least the music is always something that I can push forward myself. So on that front, there's always something new coming. Stay tuned. I don't want to speak too much about it. So, but there's always something. There's stuff out now which is new, but stay tuned. There's always something new.
Yes, sir.
There's always something.
We'll post links.
There's always something new. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you for having me, man.
It's been eye-opening.
Yeah, no, this is honestly, I feel it's been like a soulful episode.
100%.
It's been like, I feel like my cup is full. I felt like during this episode, my cup was getting full, and I enjoyed that.
Well, I appreciate you guys. And best of all for the podcast.
Thank you.
Can I ask you a question? Taking over the podcast now. Leah and G. What is the purpose of your guys' podcast? What do you guys want to get out of it? What do you want to leave the world with?
I think, hence the name Eat, Feed, Grow. For me, this stems all from my grandmother, in kind of like in life, in her struggles, in everything. The most common thing was eating, feeding, and growing through the acts of the two things of eating and feeding,
right,
of what she consumed and what she was able to impart.
Yes, sir.
And for me, I feel like that is like trying to create something that other people can consume that is worthy enough to be insightful for them to grow in some form or aspect.
Nourishing someone.
While also myself growing through this journey, which I think is kind of
My friend had a really cool idea.
Yes.
And I thought it was something that could be showcased to people and people could utilize, and we would help everybody understand each other. And that's kind of where I was coming from. Yeah.
And at the end of it, do you want them to know more about the human beings within the spaces you move in, or do you want them to know more about places and products?
I think a little bit of all three. If I'm not, if from my side anyway, I can't answer for MG.
I think for me, it's more about the human being and the positivity of what they are trying to do.
Utilizing those places and those things, yeah.
Yeah, so it keeps growth.
Nice.
It is growth. It's
Yeah,
one I a year from now I'd love to.
It'll
have
evolve
this
however it evolves.
this
And
conversation, and I'd love to have and I'd love to have this discussion again and be like, hey, it's been a year since we last had this. And
nice.
This is what's happened. This is what I've learned.
Yes.
And honestly,
Oh, shout out to both of y'all, man. Shout out to the whole team, to all three of y'all.
Glad
There's
that
somebody who's
includes
shooting. There's somebody shooting. So I just don't want the cameras aren't operating themselves and they're not editing themselves. But yeah, shout out to all three of you and good luck with all of it. And I think the biggest thing you guys mustn't forget is all the people you think are cool know you and you know them, so which tells you something about yourself. So continue. Yes. Continue. Yes.
see, soul is fed to the brim. Yo, thank you so much.
One love. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Shout out, Clint. Yes, sir.
Thanks, guys. That's the part.
Yes.
Woman, why you so cold? Woman, why you so bold? Woman, why you so strong? Wise woman, why you young and my old? Woman, story untold. Woman, story unfold. Woman, weak, woman, heal your wounds. Woman, let me hold you like gold. Woman, why you so cold? Woman, why you so bold?